just completely fucked it and brushed his foot over the top of the ball and left Henry just running, like pointing at his feet going, where's the fucking ball? Now this is a moment I've managed to troll.
That's funny.
I managed to troll myself in this kind of like, let's big up Arsenal thing.
That's good, Rory. This
is the moment that I know everybody will be thinking of. But that was the one moment where I think they did not connect mentally. For the rest of their career, they had such a great understanding of each other. And Bergkamp, obviously, every player from that team says the best player they played with, including Henry, says the best player was Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah,
his vision, his touch, everything, his passing. I could talk. We have to have a special about Dennis Bergkamp because
we have to have a special about many of the football players because they're also. We actually at the beginning when this idea of the podcast was still in embryo, we recorded our top 11 of all time, and many of the players that we're mentioning today, of course, they're in our top 11. All I have to say about Arsenal is that if you know me, I have zero connection to Arsenal except my friendship with Rory. But I remember when I was a kid and we would get, footage from the Premier League on television late at night. I was like, I feel like this is how football is supposed to be played because I have never played in a football club. And when I was watching Arsenal play, I was like, wow, it looks very easy. It's probably very difficult to make it happen. But wow, Thierry Henry, Pires, Bergkamp, what a team that was.
I think I'm not going to go and claim that they were the best Premier League team of all time because they weren't. But some of the football they played was, I think, the best football that has been played in the Premier League. And it was. There's been players that since have talked about playing against Arsenal, and they said especially against the team in kind of 03-04 around that time, that even stood in the tunnel, you knew you'd lost. Mm-hmm. And there was games we'd go 2-0 down, and I'd be sat there the whole time going, that's fine. It's fine. I know we're 2-0 down, but have you seen who we have up front? We'll be fine. And I think we played the best football that's been played in the Premier League. Not saying we were the best team, but we played the best football, and we did make it look super easy. And I think Bergkamp, Henry, and Pires, that connection up front, maybe throw in Lundberg in there as well, was incredible.
Yeah, from midfield to attack, this is the first three-man partnership that came to our mind. But then there was one, and I went checking the stats, and it made sense. I remembered Gerrard and Torres being absolutely on fire and really understanding each other. They played together from 2007 to 2010. Unfortunately, their partnership was sort of hindered by a lot of injuries for both players. But they've scored 129 joint goals in 3 seasons. And there is this great quote by Gerrard that said, "I had 2 years with Fernando when he made me feel invincible. I always knew where he was going to move next. I'm not a natural number 10, but for a couple of years, Fernando helped me become one." I think that says it all. And also, whenever they scored, it felt like Torres was looking for Gerrard. Gerrard was looking for Torres. They felt like a great couple. The first season together, they had 54 joint goals in all competitions. Torres had the most goals scored by a foreigner in his debut season in the English Premier League, and they both were in the team of the year. Same thing happened the next year. Even though they only started 12 games together, that was the beginning of the series of injuries. And in their third season, Xabi Alonso had left. That was the summer that Real Madrid just bought everybody. They got Cristiano Ronaldo, they got Xabi Alonso, and it felt like the team relied on them a little too much. But there are so many plays in which Gerrard just sees the movement from Torres, he passes it to him, and then Torres, El Niño, when he was still known as El Niño,
he was an absolute monster when he first turned up to Liverpool. Absolute monster. I just remember him it was kind of similar to when Suarez first turned up at Liverpool. It was just unstoppable. Yeah. Why the fuck is this guy?
I remember this very unfortunate game at the San Siro, Inter against Liverpool. Torres did score. And if you look at that goal again, there are so many ways it can be prevented. He just stops it with his chest, turns around and hammers it in. But that's who Torres was. I love that guy, by the way. I'm a big Torres fan.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Torres. I
feel like his move to Chelsea was a little weird.
I feel sorry about the move to Chelsea.
But the guy has won everything. Yeah, he's won a World Cup, a European Cup, a Europa League, I think.
I'm sure he's not crying himself to sleep.
He's definitely not doing that. But then, going up front, who are our top combinations?
Now, I wanted to give an honourable mention to... Now, we've talked about a lot of achievements, Now, this partnership together didn't really win much, but I feel like it's one of the best relationships I've seen on a pitch, and that is Totti and Cassano when they were at Roma. Now,
talk about a throwback.
These are two players that, again, I get so romantic about these players. I enjoyed watching these players so much.
Probably stats-wise, it's not one of the best partnerships, but it was very exciting to watch.
If you watch the if you watch one of the many compilations on YouTube, all of the assists between Totti and Cassano, it seems to be back heels or like slide through balls. It's like dinked over the defenders. It's just beautiful football with this connection. And so they played together from 2001 till 2006. In that time, they finished third in Serie A 3 times. Right?
That's very Roma-like.
It is very Roma-like. In 03-04, in 01-02, they finished 1 point behind Juventus. They were I remember them being very unlucky that season. So in 03-04 was the season they had their best kind of connection, I would say. Cassano got 14 goals and 2 assists. And are you ready for this? Totti got 20 goals, only 1 assist. But
only 1 assist?
Together, they seem to have a real kind of connection. Totti was putting it on a plate for Cassano every time.
With that heel touch, we were watching plays before, and it felt like there was a moment in which Totti was like, all right, I can only use my heel, to put Cassano in front of goal. That was amazing.
I feel like that's Totti all over. Like, in his head, he's like, I need to do this to get the ball there. This is the best way to do it. Let's do it that way.
Totti is one of the, I think, in my opinion, just one of the best players.
He's one of the most underrated players. People don't talk about him enough, honestly.
Yeah, if you aren't our age, if you were born already, like in 1996, 98, I feel like you might have missed. You might have missed top level Totti. Yeah,
but also Cassano is one of my favorite people.
Such a funny. We will have an episode only about Cassano
because he's from the same area of Italy as my girlfriend. So
romantic Ruairi.
He did play for Bari. And there's a great story that I just really wanted to tell on the podcast about Cassano, which was when he got his move to Real Madrid. He was living in a hotel for a while. And his reward to himself when he played well or when he played would be to have a woman at the hotel. And the quote was, every time I score, I have sex and I eat cakes. That is how I reward myself. Now, this is ultimately what led to him being sold from Real Madrid because he put on a massive amount of weight. But
big time.
You've got to love that. You've got to love that attitude.
Oh no,
in a way, you've got to love the attitude.
I remember the presentation of Cassano to Real Madrid. Everybody was kind of watching because they were like, "Right, he's always played in Italy. How's the first move gonna be?" And then it just looked wrong. Like he wasn't supposed to feel all that pressure. He wasn't supposed to.
He's not a Real Madrid player.
No,
he's not a Real
But
Madrid
I understand
player.
where Real Madrid got him, but I understand also why it didn't work.
Of course it didn't work.
Didn't really work. But up front, notable mentions, which we're not going to go in depth with because you guys all know about it. It's the MSN and the BBC. We're talking about Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. They won together the 2015 UEFA Champions League, and the BBC, Bale, Benzema, and Ronaldo. They've won a little more together. 4 Champions Leagues. And I mean, I think that started the sort of like modern setup of like 2 very strong wings and 1 killer forward.
Well, it was when teams started to move into the 4-3-3, kind of became more common.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are our notable mentions. Before we round it up and I try to guess the mysterious player, who do you think are the best partnerships in football right now?
I think the best strike partnership, you'll be happy to hear, Tommy. I think if you're going for an old classic kind of strike partnership, has to be Lautaro and Lukaku. They're
short and tall,
skinny, big guy,
and
small
buff.
guy, quick, strong, etc.
Just works very well.
And we were kind of racking our brain about defensive partnerships. I feel like even there's not a lot of teams with great defenses now. We just talked about Liverpool, Bayern, love conceding fucking goals.
It's got to be Bonucci and Chiellini together when they do play together. Skriniar and the Ruairi Inter have got a big shot at it, but they play in a 3-man defense, which wasn't very much a thing back in the day.
Yeah.
But midfield?
I don't know. I kind of feel like if we go back to defence quickly in the Premier League, even Liverpool, like they have Van Dijk, but there's no natural partner.
Ellison Van Dijk, if you want.
City have Laporte, but no definite partner. Arsenal, no. Like Tottenham,
just keep going.
Probably not. Right?
Just keep going.
Like, so I feel like maybe there's not that many great defensive partnerships at the moment. In midfield, I don't know. Maybe you go for. Gonna put me on the spot here now. I think.
What about you guys, you listeners? Tell us.
Yeah,
let's interact with each other. Why don't you tell us who you think is the best partnership?
I hope it's going to be Xhaka, Partey, and Bukayo Saka.
And guess what I'm going to say? Once again. But guys, this was it. We really feel blessed, Rory and I, to have been born when we were, because we witnessed some of the sexiest football on earth. Just talking about Nesta-Maldini, Vidic, Ferdinand, Xavi-Iniesta, Bergkamp, Pires, and Henry.
And Totti and Cassano. Sorry, I just have to get it in there.
All right, guys, we're moving on to the very last section and try to guess the mysterious player.
He's not going to do it, guys.
I don't think I am.
Okay, here we go. Time to find out if Tommy's got the metal to stick it out and stick it in the back of the net. Let's see.
That was graphic?
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
The beers, once again.
I know. It's definitely, honestly.
No, we just want to tell you guys that as we are recording, our producer, Gabriele, is drinking gin water on the rocks. Have you ever tried this drink?
With Monster?
Oh,
Let's not.
With Monster.
We don't fuck about around here, guys.
At first, I was like, we don't have any beers, but do you want gin tonic? And then I was like, I've got only water to go with it.
Tonic.
All right, but so, the mysterious player, let's focus.
Right, so now, Tommy, I've given you the clues of he was born officially on the 1st of August, 1976. He won the Eredivisie. He won the UEFA Cup. He won the Champions League. He won the Premier League. And he won the FA Cup 3 times with 2 different teams.
Okay.
So now you get a few questions.
So the first question that I have is he not European?
He is not European.
Is he black?
He is black, yes.
Okay. All right. So not European. Okay. You can only answer yes or no. I would ask the position otherwise. Is he a forward?
Yes.
Okay, good. Luckily, because if you said no, it could be a midfielder, a defender, or a goalkeeper. So I'm really trying to wrap my head around this. There are a lot of good players who started playing in the Eredivisie. Oh my God, there is also Ronaldo, but Ronaldo has never, I'm talking about Ronaldo the phenomenon. He started playing for PSV, but he never won a Champions League. So the other players, the other good players, I can think of Suarez, but Suarez was not born in 76 and he's not black.
I'm going to give you the teams, right? Because I feel like it will probably it might give it away. But let's find out. He played for Ajax.
Okay.
He played for Inter Milan.
Oh, all right. I know. Arsenal. Right. No, wait. I don't know.
He played for Arsenal and he played for Portsmouth.
I would say Bergkamp, but Bergkamp is not black. Notoriously.
Well noticed. Yeah.
Because Bergkamp did play for Inter before we scouted him badly and we're like, no,
this guy's terrible.
Yeah, like Pirlo and Seedorf. God.
So, listeners, because I think you might not have heard that, there was Ajax, Inter Milan, Arsenal, West Bromwich Albion, and Portsmouth. He won the UEFA Cup with Inter, by the way.
He won the UEFA Cup with Inter, so that's got to be in 1997, 1998, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that we won against Lazio. Oh my God, man. I have no clue. Who are we talking about here?
Are you officially throwing in the towel?
Well, just can you give me a little? Just start telling. Okay, just do this. Just do this. We got 1 minute left. Just start telling me the story of his life with like more details, and I'll try to see.
He was born in. Well, if I give you the country, I'm not giving you the country yet, have I? He was born in a poor area, I imagine, and he moved to Ajax, where he won the Eredivisie 3 times.
Give me the first letter of his last name. Let's do this. I've surrendered,
This
so
is
I've
so
lost
messy.
it. Let's do it for the listeners, though.
Right.
The first
What do you
letter
mean?
of his
Okay,
last
K.
name. Oh, is it Kanu?
It is Kanu. Yeah. With size 14 feet, it's Nwankwo Kanu.
What is his
Fucking
nationality?
hero. Nigerian.
Nigerian. God, I did not remember that he started in the Eredivisie.
Underrated. Mate,
Who did he win the
massively
Champions League
underrated
with?
player.